You walk into the room, and you have already done the math. Before you sit down, before anyone says your name, you know where you stand. Who is ahead of you, who is behind. It takes less than a second, and you never chose to do it. The Stoics had a word for a man who lives this way. Not free. A slave. Not to an owner, but to the opinion of the crowd. It happens with the small bright rectangle too. You pick it up to check one thing, and a minute later you're weighing your whole life against a stranger's best 10 seconds. You set it down a little smaller than you lifted it. And the strange part, you already know you will do it again within the hour. I want you to meet someone who fought this exact war 17 centuries before that rectangle existed. No feed, no followers, no notifications. He carried the same wound you carry into every room. A number, running, that never once stopped counting. Call him Aurelius. He was not poor, and he was not powerful. He was the worst thing a comparing man can be. Somewhere in the middle, where the climbing has no top and no floor, only the next rung. He never greeted a room without first reading it. Who had risen since yesterday, who had quietly slipped. What did he want? The thing you want. To be enough. To walk in one ordinary morning and feel, finally, that he had arrived. That the counting could stop and he could simply live inside his own life instead of ranking it. So he climbed. He won a better post, a nearer seat, a word of praise from a man he admired. And the relief was real. It lasted about a week. Then the bar lifted itself, quietly, to the next rung, and the old hunger came back wearing newer clothes. Here is what it cost him, though he could not yet see it. He could not taste his own dinner because he was busy pricing everyone else's. He could not hear a friend's good news without, somewhere underneath, subtracting it from his own. And it never slept. It was the first thing awake in him at dawn, and the last voice talking at night. The scoreboard, he would have told you, was simply how the world worked. He did not know yet that it was running inside his own skull. In a voice he had never agreed to host. Look closely at the thing itself. The scoreboard is invisible, but it is always on. It needs no stadium and no ledger. It runs in the half-second between seeing a person and deciding how to feel about yourself. And it ranks everything. Money.you. The line of a jaw dot, whose name is spoken with respect after they have left the room. It takes a whole, complicated person and flattens them into one fact, above you or below you, and then it moves on to the next. Seneca knew the engine of it. In his 7th letter, the one on crowds, he confessed something most of us never will. I come back from the crowd, he wrote, greedier, more ambitious, more self-seeking, crueler, and less human. Only because I have been among other people. Sit with that. The crowd did not improve him by contact. It turned the wanting up. And your feed is a crowd that never goes home. The forum, with its doors torn off, open at 3 in the morning, always, impossibly, full. And the contest is rigged so that you cannot win it. You compare your inside to their outside. You know your own fear, your own debt. The dumb thing you said last Tuesday. Of them you know only the one moment they chose to hold up to the light. Worse, most of the people you measure yourself against never entered the race. They do not know they are your rivals. The whole competition is happening in a single place, the room behind your eyes, and you are the only one losing sleep inside it. Aurelius felt the weight lift only once a day. Before the city woke, he would sit in an empty courtyard with a cup of water and no one left to measure. For a few minutes, the number went quiet. Not solved, just quiet. He mistook that quiet for emptiness and hurried back toward the noise. Because the noise is where the drug lives. And here the wound turns into something uglier. To rise, you slowly begin to need others to fall. Only a little. Someone stumbles, and something in you, against your own will, warms. You would never say it aloud. You feel it anyway. That warmth has a name. Envy. And envy is the most honest confession the scoreboard ever drags out of you, because it tells you exactly whose life you have quietly decided is worth more than your own peace. Then comes the strangest turn of the screw. Aurelius realized he was chasing the approval of people he did not even admire, whose whole lives, if handed to him, he would have refused. And still, one cool glance from them could spoil his entire afternoon. And winning never closed the account. Each rung he reached only introduced him to the people standing on the rung above. The promotion did not end the comparison. It restocked it. The game keeps no final score. It is built very carefully so that you can only keep playing. So a question began to form in him, the way a real question forms only when you are finally tired enough to ask it. Who is keeping this score? And for whom have I been keeping it all this time? Here's a recognition that changes everything, and it is quieter than you would expect. The scoreboard is not measuring your life. It is measuring your attention. It can only weigh what you agree to look at. Whatever you watch, it ranks. Whatever you stop watching, it cannot touch. Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire and fought the same war in private. He wrote the whole contradiction down in the Meditations. We love ourselves, he said, more than we love anyone else alive. And yet we value other people's opinion of us above our own. Read that twice. You are the only living authority on your own life. You hold the one complete record of what you meant, what you survived, what you are still trying to become. And you have handed the verdict to a jury of strangers, many of them people whose lives you would never trade for, whose judgment you do not even respect. That is not ambition. It is closer to surrender. And the way out is not to stop caring and call the numbness peace. Numbness is only the scoreboard turned to face the wall. It is still hanging there. The way out is a different measure, the one small number between who you were yesterday and who you chose to be today. Did you act well? Did you tell the truth when it cost you something? That score, no crowd can keep for you. Aurelius did not wake up a different man. There is no different man waiting overnight. But one evening, he came home and noticed the counting running. The way you finally notice a sound that has been there for years. And for the first time, he simply did not answer. It did not vanish. You do not rise above it. That is just one more rank to win. You become accurate about it instead. Our reputation is weather. It can help you sail, or it can soak you to the bone, but it is not the sky. And it was never the sea you are crossing. Tomorrow he will walk back into the crowd, and the math will start again, fast as ever. The change is small, and it is everything. He knows now whose voice the counting is in, and he knows he is allowed to let it talk without believing a word. So picture him at the door. The room is full. The reflex fires. The old math runs. And this time, instead of reaching for the scoreboard, he looks at the person actually standing in front of him and says their name first.